Welcome to Librarian Recommends. Hi, my name is Trish and I'm one of the librarians at Barbican Library, and I'm going to bring you some suggestions of books to read or listen to via a Librarian Recommends session fortnightly on a Thursday. You can download ebooks and audiobooks using our free RBdigital app. If you need help using the app, please take a look at our user guide video, which you can find in the video section on the left of this Facebook page, or go to our YouTube channel using the link above. Today I'm going to concentrate on historical fiction. There is a whole range of titles set in different time periods and not just in the UK, so do give some of them a go. Firstly, I'm going to mention some ebook titles you might be interested in trying. First up is Hue and Cry by Shirley Mackay. This is a historical crime novel set in 16th century Scotland. The protagonist is newly qualified lawyer Hugh Cullen, who returns to St Andrews in 1579 after 6 years away studying law in Paris. Reluctant to break the devastating news to his father that he no longer wishes to pursue a career in law, Hugh stays in St Andrews. He soon finds himself embroiled in unsettling events as the body of a 13-year-old boy, bludgeoned to death, is found, and Hugh's old friend and university regent, Nicholas Culp, who was tutoring the victim for university admission, becomes the prime murder suspect. Hugh sets out to prove Culp's innocence, but it becomes evident that he is not telling anyone the whole truth, not even Hugh. Hugh uncovers a complex tale of corruption, forbidden love and duplicity. This is an atmospheric, thoroughly researched and well-crafted book. It should appeal to many, as well as the fans of Susanna Gregory and C.J. Sampson. My next suggestion is Confessions of Franny Langton by Sarah Collins. This is the story of former slave Franny Langton. It's 1826, and in Newgate Prison, Franny is awaiting her trial for the murder of her employer and his wife. George Benham was found stabbed to death in his library, while his wife Marguerite's slain body was discovered in her bedchamber. Franny claims she cannot recall anything about the events of that fateful evening. While incarcerated, she writes the story of her life in a bid to help her lawyer defend her. She tells of her childhood on a Jamaican plantation before becoming a house girl, and later forced to serve as an apprentice under her master, Mr Langton. She relates the events that brought her to London and into the household of the couple she is charged with murdering. She reveals an intimate and forbidden relationship with the lady of the house. Her testimony is damning, but could Franny really have killed the only person she ever loved? This is a haunting and remarkable story, a beautifully written, truly captivating, multi-layered Georgian mystery. How about Miss Austen by Jill Hornby? 23 years after Jane Austen's death, her elder sister Cassandra burned 2/3 of her correspondence with her sister in an act that has long puzzled academics and biographers. This novel presents a fictionalised account of Cassandra's actions. The novel opens in 1840 with a now elderly and frail Cassandra travelling from her home in Hampshire and arriving unannounced at the Berkshire home of friends of her family. It seems she has come to pay her respects to Isabella Fowle, who has recently lost her father, but in fact she has a more pressing motive for her stay. Isabella's mother, Eliza, was a dear friend and confidant to both Austen's sisters, and with Isabella now having to vacate the rectory due to her father's death, Cassandra is worried that a cache of correspondence between herself, Jane and Eliza, which is currently stored there, could fall into unscrupulous hands and their contents become public knowledge. However, before deciding to destroy them, she reads their contents, revealing details of both her own and Jane's past. This is a charming story of the intertwined lives and loves of two extraordinary sisters. A wonderfully imagined and deeply touching novel. My final ebook is The Mercies by Kieran Millward Hargrave. Inspired by actual events, the novel takes place on the Norwegian island of Vardøya. It's Christmas Eve 1617, and a sudden storm brings havoc, drowning the 40 fishermen who are out at sea. With the menfolk wiped out and the women of the remote village of Vardø isolated from the mainland, they must fend for themselves. Maren is a young woman who saw the men, including her father, brother and her betrothed, perish in the brutal storm. She is practical and capable, and takes responsibility in providing for herself, her mother, her widowed sister-in-law and her infant nephew. 3 years later, Scottish Commissioner Absalom Cornet arrives with his new Norwegian wife Ursa. His mission is to restore religious order to this predominantly female community. He expects complete compliance and subservience from the women. His wife Ursa sees something she has never known before. Women living independently, unconstrained by traditional gender roles. Based on the real-life 1621 witch trials, this is a powerful and sometimes harrowing story of love, courage, sisterhood and betrayal. And now on to some audiobooks. If you've not tried listening to books before, why not give it a try? There really is something relaxing and soothing about being read to, regardless of the genre. My first suggestion is The Liar's Daughter by Laurie Graham. Nan's mother Ruby loves to regale her daughter with stories from her past. She keeps an alehouse in Portsmouth, but this once boyish-looking woman claims to have served aboard several naval vessels, sometimes disguised as a man, sometimes stitching sails and tending to battle wounds. Her accounts vary in their details depending on how much she has had to drink. Her most startling tale is the one that sees her serving aboard Victory and witnessing Admiral Lord Nelson's death at Trafalgar. Not only that, but she claims the pair were lovers, and the naval hero is in fact Nan's father. From humble beginnings, resourceful Nan makes her own determined way through life. She meets a young doctor who wants to marry her, but his scepticism regarding her mother's outrageous claims makes her intent on finally finding out the truth about her father. But what Nan discovers is that many others lay claim to have been fathered by Lord Nelson, and the world is full of people with a story about him. This is an easy and entertaining read, packed with interesting characters and historical detail. How about Golden Hill by Frances Spufford? This novel is set in 1746 and begins with a young man, Richard Smith, arriving in New York, having journeyed across the seas from London. The Londoner makes his way to a counting house on Golden Hill Street, seeking out a trader named Lovell, who he presents with a bill of exchange to the value of £1,000. Lovell has 60 days to honour the bill. Smith reveals nothing of himself or his intentions, and his presence causes a stir among the locals. There is endless speculation about him. Who is this curious man, and what is his business? He finds himself among Manhattan's social elite, who are intrigued by him. Is he a man of genuine wealth, or a charlatan not to be trusted? As he waits for the money, Smith encounters the good, the bad, and the mad of New York. Exactly who Smith is remains a mystery until the very end of the book, keeping everyone, including the reader and listener, guessing. This is a story of adventure, with plenty of humour as well as moments of darkness, told in the language of the time. A gorgeously written and intricately plotted novel that is well worth a listen. Next up is Pleasing Mr Peeps by Deborah Swift. Taking place in a London still in ruins from the Great Fire, this novel is a reimagining of events in the life of Samuel Pepys, as seen through the eyes of his maid, Deb Willett. Eager to escape her domineering aunt, Deb takes up a post as companion to Pepys's wife, Elizabeth. She believes the job will provide the respectability she craves. Pepys is an important and influential man as clerk of the Acts on the Navy Board, and because her position gives her access to his papers, Deb becomes a target for flamboyant actress Abigail Williams, the mistress of Lord Bruckner and a spy for England's enemies, the Dutch. Innocent Deb is manipulated into copying or stealing confidential documents from her employer, and she soon finds herself caught up in a dangerous web of deception and espionage, while dealing with Peeps' increasing lust for her and Elizabeth's mistrust and jealousy. Swift paints a vivid and fascinating picture of Restoration London in this gripping tale full of drama and intrigue. My final audiobook for you is The Other Lady Vanishes by Amanda Quick. The setting for this novel is 1930s California. Adelaide Blake arrives in the small coastal town of Burning Cove, having escaped from Rushbrook, a private sanatorium. She wants to start a new life and reinvent herself, so she gets a job in a herbal tea shop, a place popular with celebrities and the Hollywood elite. When Madame Zalander, psychic to the stars, invites Adelaide to her show, she asks one of her customers, Jake Truitt, a widower and former businessman, to accompany her. At the performance, the medium predicts a gruesome death, and when the next morning her prophecy proves correct, Adelaide and Jake, who both have dark secrets of their own, are drawn into a shady world of murder, duplicity and misdirection. This historical fiction work is an excellent blend of romance and mystery, a fun and enjoyable listen. I do hope you have enjoyed these ideas for your next read, even if it's a genre you've not thought of reading before. Why not try something new? You might be surprised. And don't forget, if these titles I have suggested are unavailable when you look, you can search by genre and availability in the RBdigital app. Do use the comments section below to add your own suggestions of historical fiction books you think our customers might enjoy. And if we don't already have them available in our RBdigital collection, we will see if we can add them. Before I go, I would like to thank my colleague Lynn for her invaluable help putting these suggestions together. Stay safe and well, and see you soon. Bye!